Male found out my wife, 52 female, cheated and my daughters knew about it. Original post. Wife never gave me any suspicious behavior. We have always been a strong couple, married 25 years. 3 daughters, 17, 20, and 23, or at least I thought. Or did I find out one day? I received a message from a woman telling me her soon-to-be husband confessed that he cheated with a senior colleague at work. He came clean and gave the name of the woman. So she did a little bit of digging and found me. She thought I deserved to know the truth. I don't know if she did that to get back at my wife or genuinely thought I deserved to know, but that's not important. Obviously, I didn't believe her at the beginning, but as she gave me more details about the affair, the dates, duration, name of coworkers who knew, etc., so it does appear to be true. The guy gave her all the details, hotel name, even the address of my freaking house, as she invited him, her phone number, and so on. So yeah, at some point I had to face the truth. The guy was 21 at the time, a kid. Still can't believe she slept with a kid. It happened when I was on a business trip, classic. When I put things together, I realized that she probably planned this. My business trip was scheduled months in advance. I find it odd to believe that it's a coincidence that she suddenly cheated the same period of time while I was away. Wife is dead to me. I'm ready to divorce her, so I'm just preparing it, financials, etc. One of my good friends faced the same issue, so she advised not to confront my wife, as she may go nuclear if she's concerned. I don't think she will, but who knows? I thought I knew her. Turns out that I do not. It's been hard to see her every day, acting like nothing happened. She's planning her next holiday, talking about going to visit our daughters. Our eldest works in a different city and the second one is in college. The youngest is still finishing high school. She's like a flatmate now. I just don't feel like anything. I'm a ghost living in our house. I wake up at 5, go to the gym, go to work. I have my own business. Come back around 7 p.m. and just do my stuff. I kind of think my wife is feeling something is weird, but I don't really care. What hurts the most, and that's where I need advice, is that my daughters knew about the affair. The soon-to-be husband told his girl that my daughter walked in on them while they were kissing in our living room. Wife thought that she would be at school all day. Apparently, she managed to calm down the daughter and explain the situation. Not sure what had happened, but my daughter never told me anything. So I'm not sure what the wife told her to keep the secret. Knowing how close she is with her 2 sisters, I'm 100% convinced that she shared the secret with them, and the 3 of them probably decided to keep it quiet. That's probably why I feel so detached. I believe I'm still a good father. I work really hard on my business to make sure that they get the best of everything. I put them first in any decision about my business to make sure that I can provide, send them to college free of debts, to give them the best start in their working lives. I tried to be there at every step of their life, basically what any father would do. We had our ups and downs, obviously, but nothing major. They're my baby girls, and I always saw them as my little princesses. So knowing that they knew really stings. Part of me thinks they didn't tell me because they were scared of destroying the family. I understand that, but still, I have this anger inside of me and it keeps growing. We have a WhatsApp group, and when I see them asking for advice, asking for help for a deposit for a flat and so on, I just feel like screaming and confronting all of them. But I know it won't solve anything. It will be just a 10-second happy feeling for me, and then it will go back to sting. Another part of me just wants to leave, close my bank account and just leave the house, cut ties with all of them, and just leave without a word. My good friend advised against that because the law doesn't take this kindly. But really, I can't say that this option is not growing on me. I don't even want to talk. I don't want to understand their point of view. I want to leave and go somewhere like Thailand. Stay on the beach for months, and maybe one day I'll feel ready to listen, or maybe I won't. I don't want to hear about how sorry they are, how they regret they didn't tell me. They had 3 years. For 3 years they looked at me in the eyes and didn't say a thing. I really don't know how they managed to keep a poker face like nothing happened and still behave as usual. I feel like the 4 of them are master manipulators, and this anger inside me is not going away. What would you guys do if you were me? Reconciliation with the wife is out of the question. She repulses me, and the fact that she behaves like a loving wife just adds the fire inside of me. I'm glad my friend helped me and talked to me about her experience, so I managed to see this from an outside point of view. Where I need advice is on my daughters. As I said, part of me wants to talk, another part just feels like they don't deserve a chance to come clean. Now it's too late, I'm just so lost. Thanks for reading all of that. It took me forever to put that on paper, but somehow it does feel good. The lawyer told me that since the kids are growing up, there won't be any alimony issue. As for spouse support, she might ask for it, but since she works and is doing fine for herself, the judge will most likely turn that down. Our joint account is only used for things that we pay for as a couple. Otherwise, we have our own bank accounts. That was a strong advice from my parents that if two partners are working, they should not put everything in a joint account. Can't thank them enough for that. Lawyer said she could argue that my business is doing well and she's entitled to a part of it if I happen to sell it. But since she works, we can always argue about this. To be honest, I don't even care. Talk to my daughters? I know I should. You guys are 100% right. The reasons I've not done it is because I have this anger inside me that is not going away. I feel like if one of them says something that doesn't go well with me, I might snap. And yes, I would like to believe my wife manipulated them to keep the secret. Some snapping will make it worse, yes. The anger is misplaced. But just to be clear, obviously I hated my wife when I learned about the affair. But then anger turned into indifference. I will divorce and she will be gone. With my kids, it's different. I can't hate my kids. I have feelings for them. Unfortunately, right now, it's anger. The reason I assume my youngest shared it with the other two is because they have always been so very close to each other, supporting each other, which makes me very proud, so it's hard to believe that my youngest didn't share it. But as someone said, I'm not 100% certain. In any case, I don't want to blame them. I understand their point of view. If they tell me they didn't want to break the family, etc., but it's hard to accept the lying. It's like someone wrote, part of me would feel they sided with their cheating mom. I feel like I need some time alone to process everything. Time I didn't have lately between a wife, 3 daughters, and a business to run. My only me time is the time at the gym to allow myself to have, but I don't feel like that's enough to make the anger go away. And in my current situation, it'd be weird if I tell them that I'm going to be away for a month and then go to Hawaii. Paternity tests, STDs, etc., health checks are a no-brainer. I have an appointment at a clinic and I'll do the tests needed. Paternity tests? I don't know. I mean, what's the point? Worst case, they're not my flesh. Does that matter? I raised them for 20 years. They are my daughters. Being blood related is not relevant. If they are not, then it's on the mother, not them. I can't hold them accountable for that. Maybe the lady who contacted me lied. That was my first thought. I mean, my 3 grown daughters, I thought we were a strong couple. My first reply was, I'm sorry you're going through this, but I don't believe your story about my wife. Then she started giving more details, more proofs. As I said, I don't care if it was because she wanted to ruin our marriage, but as the details are coming, doubt started getting into your head and it's not going away. I started my own investigation, and as you can imagine, it's a lot easier to find clues when you know what you're looking for. I'm not one to live in denial. Facts are facts. And as much as it hurts, you have to face the truth. From what I understood, she and the guy were preparing their wedding. I don't know what happened to him, but it seems that he had this urge of coming clean. God knows what happened in his mind. Cut ties with them all and move on. I assume these comments are from people with no kids. You can't walk away like that. What I meant is, I would leave for a period of time to process everything, and when I'm healed, we would talk. But yes, it won't be the same. I love them, they love me, but it won't be the same. However, no matter how angry I am, I feel like I can't just leave like that. If my youngest didn't actually share the secret and kept it to herself, me leaving will be devastating for her, and my other 2 might resent her for that. This is my nightmare scenario. I might be an idiot for thinking that, but my role as a father is to protect them. I will get the lawyer to speed up the paperwork and get my wife served. Then on the day that she receives the papers, I'll Skype with my daughters. They're all in different states, so we can have a discussion to clear things. I want to do this on the same day so that they don't go talking to their mother, and then she'll try her best to play the victim. I want her to believe I know nothing until I'm ready. It's Sunday now. I hope by next week all the papers will be ready, and then I can finally open up and have a discussion with my girls. Let's see how it goes. I didn't expect to receive so much support. So I will make sure to update you once there are significant updates. Maybe my situation will be helpful for someone else, but I do hope nobody has to go through that and look for advice. Now for the update. As many of you suggested, I took my youngest daughter for lunch last week. During that lunch, I asked her if there was something that she would like to share with me. I don't know if it was my face or tone, but she immediately understood what I was referring to. She broke down and told me the whole story. She did see her mother kissing another man a few years ago in our home. Apparently, my ex-wife told the man to leave and sat down with my daughter. She explained that it was a brief lapse in judgment, but was glad that her daughter stopped it. She swore it was a one-time mistake and begged her not to say anything to me, as knowing me, I would walk away from her and our family. My daughter told me that she agreed to keep it a secret and she believed her mother. Later on, she shared it with my two other daughters. As you can imagine, they were both shocked. Apparently, my eldest didn't believe the story of the one-time kiss. It was too convenient that my youngest happened to walk in the living room and find them kissing for the first time. She told him not to worry and that she will handle it with her mother. I can't be more proud of her for taking this burden on her shoulders. From what my youngest knows, it seemed that my eldest talked to their mother about her cheating on me, and that if she doesn't come clean to me, they would inform me. However, the mother always had a good excuse over the past few years to delay it. Either it was our job situation, a sick relative, etc. There was always a good excuse to explain that it would be devastating to add this on top of what is going on with me. At the end of the lunch, I told her I will call her two sisters to discuss it. She assisted in being part of the conversation. Fair enough. I messaged my two daughters telling them that I needed to talk to them right away. So we quickly set up a call. Part of me thinks they knew what I wanted to talk about. I told them that their sister told me about what had happened with their mother. They both started crying, saying they are sorry. They wanted to tell me, etc. Long story short. I told them that I was not mad at them. I said I was sorry that they had to carry this burden for so long and that I will always love them. When it comes to their mother, I told them I will leave because I don't see myself staying with someone who betrayed me. But I said I will talk to her first before making any decision, as it's the least that I can do. I asked them not to mention anything to their mother, as I'm planning to have a discussion the same evening. End of the day, I go back home. The wife is already there, talking about her day as usual, etc. I told her I had an interesting discussion with her daughter. She immediately knew what I was talking about. She started sobbing, saying it was just a kiss, because she knows how much I value trust and so on, especially with my business. She was afraid of losing me for such a small thing. To be honest, I thought seeing her crying would make me cry, but nothing. I told her she'll receive the papers tomorrow by courier and then we'll move on. After that, I went to her bedroom, packed some clothes, and left. I don't know where I was out. She asked if she could stay with me. Of course, I informed my two other daughters that their sister and I will be staying at a hotel for the night. They asked if we can discuss this all together, so I said yes. During that discussion, I told them what would be the next steps according to my lawyer. I also made sure that they know they are my daughters and that I love them. Against probably everyone's advice, I couldn't stop myself from telling them that part of me was hurt that they didn't tell me anything. I told them that I thought we had a strong bond and that we could discuss just about anything. They started crying and apologizing, so I reminded them that no matter what happened, they're my daughters, and I love them. However, I told them it will take some time for me to behave as we used to, and I told them that I was thinking of going for a long trip to clear my mind. And my eldest said that if I needed it, then I should do it. After that, we just went to bed. The next morning, my daughter and I were having breakfast, and my mother called me. I didn't really want to pick up the phone, but the daughter insisted I talk to her. I agreed, but I put the speaker on. As soon as I picked up the phone, I could hear she's been probably drinking all night. She started crying, telling me she loves me, that we were meant to be together. This will be devastating for the kids, etc. I told her the kids are adults now, they don't need us. We gave them the best we could, and now they have built their own lives. Suddenly, she turned very nasty, saying she will take everything I have, that she will make sure my company goes bankrupt. She will tell her daughters I physically abused her, etc. I was so shocked, I just stared at my daughter, who also couldn't believe what she was hearing. I decided to cut the discussion short and said my lawyer will get in touch with her daughter, and I didn't even know what to say to each other. It's like the person who was with us for 2 decades suddenly became another person. 5 minutes later, she received a message from the mother telling her they need to talk. My daughter was scared, so I told her not to reply. Anyway, their mother was clearly drunk, so nothing would come from that discussion. I told her I will be staying at this hotel until things are settled, and she's free to stay with me if she wants. We had another group call with my other 2 daughters to tell them what had happened, and as you can imagine, they were astonished. I met my lawyer and told him what had happened. He said I don't have to worry about anything. The mother had a good position professionally and is financially all right. I run a business that employs 50 to 100 people, so a judge will never jeopardize that, knowing her comfortable situation. She will get half of her assets, houses, cars, etc. But money-wise, she wouldn't have a penny from my savings, so she shouldn't be able to claim anything from my company. My daughter told me she's worried about going back to her house with her mom, as she's afraid she will be blamed for it. I told her I'll get a place downtown and she can stay there with me, either temporarily until she feels she can go back or until she goes to college. I feel like the way her mother went crazy on the phone deeply troubled her. I will tell her I can find someone she can speak to if she feels the need, like a counselor. Let's see how she feels. The mother received the papers and apparently went ballistic with our families, hers and mine. Her family tried to call us, but my eldest just shut them down. On my side, my brother knows me and just offered support. He knows I wouldn't do something like this for no reason, so here we are now. Divorce is on the way, daughter is staying with me until she feels like going back home. Maybe the mother sent messages, I might meet with her, but my lawyer strongly advised me not to do so. He said there is nothing to gain and everything to lose, so I'll probably trust him on that. About me, I will not go to Thailand until I'm sure my youngest is in a good place. So if I go, it will probably be next year when high school is done. I don't know how our day-to-day life is going to be. Let's see. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for being the reason why the family vacation has to be canceled? Okay, to make it short, I'm married for money. My husband is with me for appearances, and we are happy with our arrangement. My husband and I married because I have all the qualifications to please his family, and he takes financial care of me. We are very fond of each other and even love each other, but not in the classical marriage sense. We are like amazing roommates with some benefits. He and I are free to live our lives independently without stresses. He is not worried about being cut off from his family, and I'm finally financially stable and am free to work my job that simply is not economically beneficial. To the problem, my sisters have never approved of my decision. They say I sold myself, which is fair. But still, we used to be civil with each other. Last week we had a family barbecue. I went without my husband. Everything was going great until my oldest niece, 21, sat down next to me and we started talking. And then she asked me straight up if I was with my husband for the money. I explained to her how we met, our agreement, and so on. She then asked me if I think it would be okay for her to pretend to be her gay best friend's girlfriend. I told her it was up to her to decide, and if there was no negatives to it, like her having actual feelings for him, someone getting hurt like a romantic partner, etc., etc., it was a lovely talk. Strike 2 was apparently when my other nieces asked me where my husband was, and I told them that he was on vacation. They asked me why I didn't go with him, and I said that we only sometimes go together on vacations. We usually take little trips together, but go on longer vacations with friends or family. My niece, 16, asked me if it was true what her mom and aunt said about me being a gold digger, and I said, I guess so. Like, that doesn't faze me. I know my sisters constantly talk about me behind my back, and I'm not ashamed about my marriage at all, so I see no need to lie. Later that night, my sisters cornered me and we had a fight about my words with my nieces. They said it was completely inappropriate what I told them. that I am free to live my fucked up life, but not to let my nieces think that it's okay what I do. I called them small-minded and that I was only answering my nieces' questions and I was even honest. They were free to do their own decisions. My sisters kept cornering me, calling me all sorts of names and saying I was basically influencing their daughters negatively because I was miserable. I said some words back and left, not talking to them the whole week. Now there is a huge fallout because I pulled out of the family vacation because of this fight. But the vacation would be at my husband's summer house, and as I am not going, my husband doesn't feel comfortable lending my family the house. My family has been calling me a huge a-hole, and my sister said that I was blowing things out of proportion. Am I the a-hole? Should I still go? Now for the top of comments. Not the a-hole. Let's get this straight. You married a guy for his money and he married you as a cover. That works for you. However, your family judges you for it until they don't get to stay at his beach house because they disrespected you. You can't have your cake and eat it too. For some reason, I had never thought about that like this at all. Not to mention they have called you a gold digger in front of your nieces, or she wouldn't have had to ask you if it was true. You were put on the spot to either tell your niece the truth, which personally I find gold digger to be a bit of a stretch, or say her mother lied. Would your sister have rather told her daughter she was a liar? Not the a-hole. You are the gold digger, yet they expect to reap the benefits of the gold even when they judge you for you. Entirely a proportionate response, OP. Also, your nieces are old enough to start thinking for themselves, and these are very good conversational topics which are better handled without parental scowl around. Congratulations on your marriage. People forget that marry for love is quite a recent thing, and in not that distant past, it was most like a business deal, and if you could find a spouse that treats you with respect and you grow fond and friends together, it was considered a successful marriage. It seems to me that's what you have, even if it's not the fairy tale dream or the religious ideal. P.S. Since so many replies to me seem to lack at least some level of reading comprehension, here I stated you are the gold digger, yet they expect because her sisters call her that. Not that this is what I call her. Seriously, guys, read the full text before you go off. That's all for today. If you're enjoying this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you.